Welcome back to Our Vision, Our Future. Forrest, you and your friends have taught me a lot today, but it seems like solving all these problems takes a lot of time. Changing laws, replacing judges, hiring, firing. I mean, am I the only impatient billionaire?
Oh, of course not, Jennifer. Let's see if we can find a faster solution. Ladies and gentlemen, let's give a big billionaire welcome to a Mr. William Kordich.
Thanks for having me.
Absolutely. Now, Mr. Kordich, you're a senior executive at one of the largest corporations in the world, and I might add, one of the most diversified. Isn't that right?
110% correct, Mr. Winnower.
Now, who is your number one client?
My number one client is the United States of America.
Oh, that's something new on today's show. What do you do for Uncle Sam, Mr. Kordich?
We design, manufacture, and implement weapons technologies.
Things that go boom?
Indeed, Miss Fairmont. Things that go boom. Our other industry is building, or in some cases, rebuilding infrastructure.
Well, that's interesting. Why would Uncle Sam want to rebuild infrastructure?
Because he destroyed it.
And what did you destroy it with?
The weapons technologies we sold him.
Wait a minute, you're talking about war, aren't you?
That's right, Jennifer. You see, Uncle Sam buys weapons from Mr. Kordich and uses them to destroy another country's infrastructure, then hires Mr. Kordich to rebuild that country's infrastructure. Presto, it's an endless cycle of corporate profits.
As long as you keep finding countries that want to go to war with us, right?
Oh, not a problem. Yesterday it was Afghanistan, today Iraq, tomorrow...
Let's just say there's a long-term plan. We also subcontract certain field operations during the destruction of the infrastructure, or war, as you like to put it, Miss Fairmont.
Well, that sounds dangerous.
Many highly profitable activities are dangerous.
So, are you actually out there fighting the battles?
That's the one thing we don't do. The American enlisted men do the fighting. Though you might be interested to know that I started out in the field as a military intelligence subcontractor. I still supervise those activities for the corporation. I just returned from Baghdad last week.
Military intelligence? You mean like maps and statistics?
No, not really. My particular area of expertise is extracting security information from the enemy in the form of interviews. We like to say we find the answers to the important questions.
Well, war does have its dark side. You can't change that.
Otherwise, they wouldn't call it war.
Now, let me point out that John Kerry wanted to have more of our allies on board before we invaded Iraq. Now, what would that have meant, Mr. Kordich?
A disaster. The war might never have happened. Our so-called allies wanted us to pursue diplomatic solutions. Then we American billionaires would have had to share all those business contracts with foreign companies.
Another disaster, right, Mr. Kordich?
Indeed. That is why I am a billionaire for Bush. I support the president and the vice president, who used to be my CEO.
Well, now I'd like to bring out someone new. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Mr. Jimmy Little.
Listen now, I asked to come on this show to let you all know that Mr. Kordich here ain't the only one on this gravy train. There's room for lots of people, so jump on board. Back home, we call this a bandwagon.
A bandwagon?
The war, little lady. The war. You see, I'm an oil man.
Now, Jimmy, didn't you once tell me you were having a problem with your company profits?
Heck yeah. You know what it takes to find these oil fields and set up the rigs and drill halfway to China? Well, it costs a lot of money. Well, that's why my profits go up and down like some kind of roller coaster. But once we get our hands on a proven oil field, already got the rigs, kaboom! No problems with the profits.
Sounds too good to be true.
Yes, well, Uncle Sam buys weapons for Mr. Kordich. He takes over these oil fields. Then they turn it all over to me. That's what we call business. Ain't that right, partner? Now, some people say 4 more years. And Mr. Kordich and I, we have a different philosophy. Tell him, Mr. K.
4 more wars.
Oh, we can barely hear you.
4 more wars.
I'm sorry, did you just say 4 more wars?
That's right, Pumpkin. You heard him right. 4 more wars. Ha ha. 4 more wars. 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 Right. 4